And welcome. What's going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to Stretford Post. Welcome to Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone is blessed. Hope everyone's good. Thank you so much for joining me today, you absolute legends, guys. Thank you, guys. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. All that jazz. Be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Now, I never would have known that a victory in football would cause so much uproar, would cause so much commotion, so much crying, so much moaning. I mean, I don't know. I think it's like kindergarten. We're in kindergarten here. I don't know what it is, guys. But Arsenal fans moaning about the way Man United reacted to the win, the way Ahmad wrote a tweet, and I don't know what they're on about. I really don't. I don't know why they're crying, why they're moaning. I don't know, because we've been here before with Arsenal. We've been here before. Now, Arsenal are the biggest hypocrites in football. They do the same thing, and they expect everyone to act differently when it hits them back. You know, what goes around comes around at the end of the day. And I would say that, yes, Ahmed wrote a tweet. You know what? It's tongue-in-cheek. It's tongue-in-cheek, and we take the tweet. It's fine. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a bit of fun, bit of banter. But Arsenal are in uproar. They think he shouldn't be doing that. He should concentrate on his game. Blah, blah, blah. But guys, I just wanna bring something to you very, very quickly, guys. If you don't mind, let me just bring this to you, okay? So I want to bring this. This is from a few months ago, and this is just an example, guys. This isn't even the actual, like, the whole story here, guys. This isn't. There's loads. There's lots more. Look at this. Mo from Arsenal Fan TV, used to be Arsenal Fan TV. Anyway, banter should stay between fans. Professional footballers, players should all stay away from it unless you retired or hate Tottenham. Now, here we go, guys. Look at Gabriel there. Look at Gabriel. Blah, blah, blah. Talking about a match that he played only this season, I believe. Blah, blah, blah. Talking, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And there you go. Here's another one, guys. Here's another one. Look, here's one. Here's one posted by Gabriel. Look at that. That's on social media. That's also on social media. What's going on there? What do we say that? You know what I mean? Look, guys, listen. We are not the morality police here. You know, you do what you got to do. It's football. You got to have a little bit of fun in life. Smile whilst you still have teeth, guys. That's what I would say about it, because at the end of the day, when you got no teeth, I tell you a story, right? I was in a very, very posh Portuguese restaurant, right? It was my granddad's birthday. God rest his soul. It was my granddad's birthday, right? In Portugal, in the Algarve, right? And my granddad, we all got loads of drinks around me, Diet Coke, of course. My granddad, he drank a drink, right? And his false teeth fell out into the cup. And then he tried to put them back in, but he put them upside down. You know what I mean? Smile whilst you still have your set of teeth, because at the end of the day, life is short time, guys. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just enjoy it. I know Arsenal have got a very delusional, arrogant complex that goes on. Everything that happens against Arsenal, you could tell an Arsenal fan, by the way, a mile off. I know some people who pretend they're Man United fans are actually Arsenal fans. You know what I mean? Some of them got big platforms. You can tell them by the way they act, the way they cry, the way they about certain things. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Now, if this was like an Arsenal player, like guys, listen, you know, we wouldn't say anything about it. We would be like, oh, all right, yeah, whatever, man. Just enjoy it. Enjoy your win. We'll be back. Do you know what I mean? But Arsenal, my goodness me, they've actually gone and written a load of tweets. And I mean, it's actually gone viral. Poor Ahmad, for goodness sake. Just a little bit of fun. You know what I mean? I would say that Ahmad's having a good time, to be fair. I think he's having a good laugh about it. Really is. And I agree with that. Have fun, my son. Enjoy it, mate. Because at the end of the day, ignore the Arsenal scum. That's what it is. That's what I would say about that, guys. Absolutely. But you know what, guys? It was a fantastic win for Man United at the weekend. But look, I'm still seeing revisionism. I'm still seeing Amorim tweets. Oh, this is the best Man United have played since Amorim. Guys, it's not. All right? We beat Liverpool. A far harder place to go is Anfield. I think Anfield's the hardest place to go in Europe. All right? And we actually played better against Arsenal in the first game of the season. However, we lost that game, I know, through a mistake with the back goalkeeper. Man, people just keep going on and on and on. Amorim. Leave the guy alone. He's no longer a Man United manager, guys. I'm seeing it again and again and again. People talk about people who are supporting Amorim, and we weren't supporting Amorim. We were supporting Manchester United, because at the end of the day, that's our job, to support Manchester United. That is it. It's not, at the end of the day, supporting the manager, supporting Man United. You moaning and crying and meet me here, do this and do that is not going to change what the board is going to do. Results will determine what happens at the end of the day. But this sacking was not a results thing. We're 3 points from top. The reason we're fourth now is because of Amram. We would have probably beaten those 2 games. Man City are shit, right? Man City are shit, and Arsenal, we beat them last season anyway with 10 minutes. So look, guys, let's stop this. Let's support Michael Carrick. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's support Michael Carrick, and let's forget about what has been, and let's concentrate on a brighter future, right? Why not that at the end of the day? Because listen, anyone who mentions Amram, comments under my streams, the comment just gets deleted. I'm not interested in your business with Amram, whether, you're jealous of Amram or something like that. I don't know, but just leave it out. Support your team. Don't be like Arsenal. Don't be like Arsenal. You know what I mean? A little joke and Arsenal are going over the top and, crying about it. It does really make me laugh what I've been seeing this last 24 hours or so. It does really make me giggle. It does, guys, honestly. But support the football team, support Michael Carrick, and just forget about Amarim for a second, eh? Just leave it now. Leave Amarim out. Let him go over there and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And let him enjoy his millionaire life, because that's what he's got at the end of the day. Now, guys, of course, it wouldn't be Stretford Post without a bit of transfer news. Of course, guys, it wouldn't be. Guys, I mentioned this player a few months ago. His name is Christos Mouzakidis. Christos Mouzakidis is a 19-year-old centre midfielder currently playing for Olympiakos Piraeus. Of course, Olympiakos, as we all know them famously. Now, the Daily Mail reports that Manchester United consider Christos Mouzakidis a medium-term investment, which is consistent with the team's philosophy of combining experienced players with talents who can develop the important players. Now, Manchester United linked to Christos Mouzakidis, according to various outlets around Europe. According to Sky Sports as well, Manchester United is considering Christos Mouzakidis. It is also stated that the club may acquire 2 midfielders in 2026, with Mouzakidis being one of the players under consideration. Now, guys, good young player, very good young player. But again, we reiterate, a project player, someone who could be a good player. As we know, there's a player who plays for Brighton and Hove Albion. His name's Kostillas. He signed when Man United were interested in him as well, and he can't get in the Brighton team. We have to analyze things, obviously, objectively in regards to the Greek league and how good the Greek league is. But Mouzakidis is a very talented player, absolutely. And he would be a brilliant signer for Man United in the long term. I know he's a project player. I know he is. But we have to do what we have to do, guys. We have to sign experience, and we have to sign the up-and-coming players as well. I think that's very important, that we give it a little bit of a mix. Manchester United are looking to bring in experience, but we're also looking to bring in the next big thing as well. Is Mouzakidis that guy? I don't know, guys. Absolutely. Now, one player that I mentioned yesterday, guys, and I've mentioned him before, all right, is Amadou Onana. Now, Amadou Onana is an Aston Villa player, of course, one of the best CDMs in the country, in my opinion. Now, things are a little bit quiet about Amadou Onana because he's a little bit under the radar. Amadou Onana has captured the interest of Manchester United, and Manchester United are very interested in Amadou Onana. Let me say it. Manchester United are very interested in Amadou Onana. Aston Villa, 24-year-old CDM. Now, the guy who started off at Everton in the Premier League, of course, has gone on leaps and bounds and has been a big part of Aston Villa's success and Aston Villa being in the top 3 at the moment. And guys, some may say Aston Villa challenging for the league title. Well, if Man City are in it, Aston Villa are on the same amount of points as Man City, so why are they not? Now, Amadou Onana is an interesting one. I like Amadou Onana. I think he's a very good player. I think he's in the top 5 CDMs, probably the top 3. You know, we haven't mentioned Amadou Onana purely because of the fact of his price, which is 51 million starting, but that can go up to 60, 70. I think, guys, if we didn't sign Ander Morton, if we didn't sign Anderson, guys, I'm going for Amadou Onana. I think he's better than Baleba. I think so. And he's only 24. You know, and I think he's better than Baleba. Of course, international, experienced in the Premier League, you know, and he's still got a lot to prove. He still hasn't reached his ceiling. So I would definitely go for Amadou Onana. I really do. And I'm hearing a lot of stories about it from people I respect about Amadou Onana, you know, which is great. Just like I heard about Cole Palmer weeks ago, if not a month and a half ago. I was speaking about Cole Palmer. Those Stretford Post loyalists will know that I was talking about Cole Palmer at the beginning of January. You know, at the beginning of January. And now all of a sudden, the big outlets and respected journalists are starting to talk about Cole Palmer. Give your props to your boy Sal, right? Because at the end of the day, that's where they get it from anyway. All right. So, guys, yes, Man United are interested in Amadou Onana. We're also interested in Cole Palmer. Will we get those players? That's a completely different story for another day. It does depend on whether Man United will pull out the money, right? If Man United pull out the money, they will get those players. Of course they would. Of course. Transfers in this window. I can't see anything happening apart from Wilfred Ndidi. Of course, I spoke yesterday about Wilfred Ndidi going to Manchester United, agreeing to go to Manchester United. Now, that's all well and good, but Man United still have to agree a deal with Besiktas. Now, the biggest concern is that why would even Besiktas be thinking of loaning him to Manchester United? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Ndidi does have an injury record. However, he's a good player, and I'm not going to take that away from him. I'm not that guy who's going to flip-flop and say that he's a bad player and that's the end of it. Ndidi is a very good player, a magnificent player. And but I just feel like Man United have missed the boat with that one. That should have been a long, long time ago, in my opinion. Ndidi should have signed for Man United a while ago, 7 years ago. So, I mean, at the end of the day. He won an FA Cup with Leicester, didn't quite make the Premier League side, of course, or won the league. He won the FA Cup with Leicester City. And at that period was touted as one of the best CDMs in Europe. And he is. He was, definitely. But obviously his injury record put paid to that, put paid to any big move, in my opinion. And I wouldn't, you know what, I still think he could do a job for Man United on a loan. All right, as long as it's not a permanent deal, as long as it's a loan, I don't think Man United can complain and we can moan about it. I don't think we can. I think what we have to do is that look at it from a desperation point of view. We're owned by who we're owned by. We're owned by the Glazers and Ineos. We're owned by them. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, what we get now is what we're going to get. You know, and this is exactly why we're protesting on the 1st of February. Precisely because of this, before the Fulham game, of course, guys. So that there is a representation of Ineos and a representation of the Glazers kind of signing, in my opinion. Absolutely. There is other players who are going to be mentioned, of course, Adam Wharton. But one player that has been mentioned quite a lot over the last few weeks, and not with Man United, but with the likes of Manchester City and Barcelona, is a young lad named Julian Alvarez. Now, Julian Alvarez is a 25-year-old currently playing for Atletico Madrid. Now, look, Julian Alvarez is a very, very talented individual. However, his price tag speaks that 150 million valuation. Loan. Not loan, I mean a valuation on euros. 25 years old, centre forward, Julian Alvarez has been scouted by several high-profile clubs, including Manchester United. However, a significant obstacle is the strong contract imposed by Atletico Madrid, which complicates the transfers. Manchester United is reportedly eager to acquire Julian Alvarez from Atletico de Madrid. The English club is prepared to offer 150 million euros to secure his transfer. Look, I've heard some rubbish in my life, but I can't see for the life of me Man United spending 150 million euros on a striker. And I think it would be absolutely ridiculous. The stupidity of the highest order if Man United spent 150 million euros on a striker. Considering what we need in our defense. What we need. You make of that what you will, guys. But you know what? I just feel like, come on, guys. Let's be real here. We are linked to Julian Alvarez. We are interested in Julian Alvarez. We have scouted Julian Alvarez, right? But we're not going to get Julian Alvarez. Let me just tell you that right now. Julian Alvarez will go to City. He will go to Barcelona. And this is the thing. Now, this is one of the big reasons why Barcelona are trying to lower the fee for Rashford. They want to lower the fee for Rashford for about 20 million euros with 5 million incentives. So 25 million euros altogether. That's what they want to do. The original deal was up to 40 million. They want to lower it down for 25. Now, we all know, don't we? They want Julian Alvarez. That's why, you know what I mean? That's why they're doing it. They're trying to pull a fast one. They're trying to be cheeky. That's why they're doing it, of course, guys. Absolutely. But you know what? Julian Alvarez, there'll be a lot of news surrounding him in the next few weeks and months, of course, guys. Let's not forget what's going to happen. Now, guys, just briefly, Manchester United and Carlos Baleba. Now, Manchester United and Carlos Baleba has been the hot topic of the summer, the hot topic of the year, to be honest with you guys. Now, this has just come in. Manchester United have renewed confidence they can sign Carlos Baleba this summer amid claims that Brighton will sell for a new price, which I broke exclusively on Stretford Post only a week ago, actually. The various newspapers reports that Brighton are ready to accept an offer of 75 million euros. Now, guys, remember what I said a week ago. This is just coming in. I said that Man United could get a fee for Carlos Baleba for 40 million euros less than what his price tag was in the summer. Remember, his fee was 115 million euros? You remember that? Now, I think now that Brighton have lowered the fee to 75 million pounds, not euros, by the way, 75 million pounds, I think Man United can get it to 65 with 10 million in incentive. This is exactly what I said a week ago. This is just coming in, guys. And this is exactly what I said a week ago. 65 million plus 10 million in incentives. That is what Man United are looking at. And I said this a week ago. Lowered price. There you go, guys. And that is coming out just now. And you're going to hear a lot about that probably coming up very, very soon, guys. You're going to hear a lot about Carlos Baleba, lowered price, blah. You know what I mean? And I mentioned it a week ago. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we strike again, guys. Just like the Carl Palmer thing. We strike again. The Adam Wharton thing. The Carlos Baleba thing. The meeting at the end of October. The agreement in principle. And now we're starting to get news about agreements between the two clubs. I said, guys, I'm guaranteed that Carlos Baleba will sign for Manchester United. I'm pretty certain about that. I think Carlos Baleba will sign for Manchester United, of course, guys. But let's wait and see. Let's play that by ear. Let's see what happens, of course, guys. Pick up the community. I hope you're all doing well. I hope everyone is blessed, guys. Hope everyone's having a good time. Hope you're having a good morning, a good day, of course, guys. No lagging today, which is good. Absolutely. Hopefully. Touch bloody wood, of course, guys. Touch wood. Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see Sanjay in the house. Hope you're doing good. One of the legends. Good morning, Sam. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Ephraim. Hope you're good, my friend. And good morning, Marcus. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Good to see you again. Absolutely. Sam, Arsenal fans are still in shock. They couldn't believe the way we destroyed them. This is just the beginning. They should wait for us more like Sunday if winning is coming. Let's hope so, my guy. Big up my guy, Coco, by the way. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Hope you're good, my friend. Good to see you. Good morning, Jurgen. Good morning, Jurgen Klopp. Is that a Liverpool fan or just a banter Liverpool fan trying to take the piss out of Liverpool? Anyway, Jurgen Klopp is a good one. Definitely Jurgen Klopp. That's his cousin. Hey, Ahmed completely rattled the whole Arsenal fan base with one tweet. Ahmed rattled the whole Arsenal fan base with one measly tweet. Just one. You know what I mean? Manchester United got the Arsenal fandoms shook. They're soft. They're so soft, mate. Honest to God, snowflakes. Because they do it all the time. They've done it all year. Before the game, they were talking about how rubbish we are. How this game is going to be easy for Arsenal. They were telling us that, weren't they? How this game is going to be easy. Or no, this game is going to be, Man United don't stand a chance. It was Man United who were being diplomatic. It was Man United who were coming out and being humble. And I've always been humble. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But, it's them. It's Arsenal who are the most arrogant fans in the world. Arsenal fans are like this, right? Arsenal fans will know that you're right. Even if you're right and you got the facts in front of you. This is Arsenal fans, right? They will raise their voice to try and be right. Just because you raise your voice doesn't make your argument more compelling. It actually means you have a weak argument. You know, and that's what it is at the end of the day, when you raise your voice. And I've come across so many Arsenal fans like this in my lifetime who are in a corner. For example, when we won the treble. When we won the treble, right? Arsenal fans could not say anything to Manchester United. And that was a great Arsenal side, by the way. But they could not say anything to Man United because we won the treble. So their idea of a compelling debate is shouting and screaming and throwing their rattles out their pram. You know what I mean? Kenny. Big up Kenny boy. Big up Marcus as well. I will say this again. They are obsessed with Amram. Kenny, I can't believe, and I'm disappointed that, guys, we had literally nearly, 3 weeks since Amram has been sacked. And I'm still seeing tweets about Amram. This is what I'm talking about. This is why Manchester United, if we want to progress as a football club, we got to stop going on and on and on and hating on the guy, because that's basically what it is. It was a hatred for Ruben Amram. Those people who hated Ruben Amram are basically Ineos bootlickers. That's it. Because Amram, regardless of what you think managerial-wise, he was calling out the owners. He was calling out Wilcox. He was calling out Glazers. This is what he was doing. Right? And you guys who are still mentioning Amram are basically feeding right into the hands of Ineos and the Glazers. That's what you're doing. Right here, right now. Right here, right now, Fatboy Slim. Now, I think people just need to move on from that. Just move on. Support the new manager, because this is what we do. This is what me and Kenny do. This is what we do, guys. We support the new manager. It's all Michael Carrick's army now. We never supported Ruben Amram. We supported Manchester United. That's what we did. Now, you've got all those Alex talks crap and all them people out there who talk a lot of nonsense. Don't know whether they're jealous. She's jealous of him or he's jealous of him or whatever it is. I don't know. But support your football team. You are not the oracle of football. Tell me what the result's going to be on Sunday. You're so clever. Go on. You won't know, will you? Because you don't know. Support your football team. We move on from Ruben Amram, and let's hope that Michael Carrick becomes a success. Because we all know that we've had the Liverpool games, the Arsenal games, the Man City games, the Chelsea games, the Newcastle games, more than one occasion over the last 10 years. We've been to Arsenal and scored them 3-1. Lingard was dancing. That's why they called it, the dance floor at Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. He done the moonwalk at Emirates years ago. We've been here. We've done this. We've done this before. Let's just hope that Michael Carrick becomes a success. But he's not going to become a success if we keep visiting old chapters. We're visiting old chapters. That chapter is over. Accept it. Stop being obsessed with the guy. Because that's what people are at the end. They're obsessed with Ruben Amram. They can't stop talking about Ruben Amram. It's ridiculous. He's gone. Move on to Carrick now. Unite as a fan base, and let's all have a common goal, which is success, because that's all what we want, guys. Don't you want to feel that Arsenal vibe again? You remember when we beat Arsenal this week? Didn't you like that feeling, innit? You like that feeling, innit? We're going to get to that feeling on a more consistent basis. We as a fan base, you need to unite as one cause and stop trying to divide by saying, well, you know what? Hold that, Amram this, hold that, Amram that, Amram this, Amram that. Mate, you look like a giraffe. Right? Stop talking about Amram. At the end of the day, you are not some sort of genius about football. You're just a hateful character. That's not Kenny, by the way. That's the people who are talking about Ruben Amram. Ephraim, big up Ephraim. How you doing? So I agree. Arsenal want sympathy from other fans, deluded fans. Look, at the end of the day, there's evidence, and there's multiple evidence to suggest Arsenal are the biggest hypocrites in football. They have this delusion that they're so hard done by. They think that Harry Maguire, when Harry Maguire is trying to challenge for a ball, he has to hold his hands like that to fall to do a tackle. They think that's handball. They think that hip equals hand. They think that Dorgu's goal was handball. Hip equals hand. Now, let me just say this then. Shouldn't that corner from Arsenal, wasn't that a foul? Guys, wasn't that a foul? Wasn't that corner from Arsenal a foul? Like, this happened at the beginning of the season, didn't it? This happened at the beginning of the season when there was a foul in the box and they won the game 1-0. It was a foul. And that one was a foul. So we haven't moaned about that. We're only bringing that up because you keep bringing it up. You guys keep bringing it up. Not us, you guys. We're gone. We're over it, guys. We're well and truly over that. Do you know what I mean? We're over all that nonsense. You know what I mean? But we know what Arsenal do. And we know that what Arsenal do in the penalty box is a foul. Look at Arsenal's record, how many goals they got from open play. That is what Arsenal's concern should be, not what Ahmad said. What Ahmad said is irrelevant. You know, what Ahmad said is absolutely irrelevant. Now, guys who don't know what Ahmad said, I'm going to bring it up right now. So those who don't know what Ahmad said. Okay, have I got it here? I haven't got it here. But anyway, let's forget that. Anyway, what Ahmed said was basically, your game is basically corner, and that's it. Your game is corner, and that's it. That is basically what it is. Now, it's banter. Humble yourself, he said. He's right. Guys, are we going to get into the territory of a robotic system where we can't say anything, you can't say anything, the relationship between players is over there, the relationship between fans is over here? We don't want that, do we? You know, we want that little bit of banter. Of course we do. You know what I mean? That we want that. Do you know what I mean? And I think we should have that. We should have that little bit of banter between fans and stuff like that. Absolutely. I agree with that. You know what I mean? We should have this banter. And we're taking away the fun out of football a little bit. You know? If he said something that was really bad, I would say, yeah, well, he shouldn't say things like that. I would be the first one to stand up and say, well, he shouldn't say things like that. Of course I would. Do you know what I mean? But he didn't, man. And they honestly, they just need to get over it. They just need to get over it, honestly. Let me just read some of your comments. Let me just get some of the comments up. Big up, Tybo. Good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything. 7 likes for 50, guys. Let's not forget to get to 50 likes. It's a good one today. Thank you so much, everyone who's smashing a like. Don't forget to smash a like. Don't forget to put your notifications on. Don't forget all that jazz, guys. Really helps with the channel, helps with the thing. And we're growing as a community. Thank you so much, everyone who's supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. Absolutely. Big up Ephraim, of course. Now, look, guys, look. You know, but what Man United have to do, we have to remove ourselves from the drama. Because whether Armand's tweet, you agreed with it or disagreed with it, only Arsenal fans disagreed with it, by the way, but whether Armand's tweet is good or bad, we as a collective need to move on to Fulham now. We don't want any more drama. The last thing that Man United need right now is drama before the Fulham game. It's just going to disrupt us on what we need to do. Now, I've heard some very compelling stats and running stats and that over the weekend. Now, obviously, this is because of Ruben Amorim, because of the way he trained the players to run back. Ahmad was running more than he ever ran. And this is a good thing. Now, every single part of a success and development, you have to think about what came before. You have to think about how you got to that level. Do you know what I mean? And how every part in your life plays a part in your success. If you're successful, every part will play a success. Whether you turn left, whether you turn right, whether you go forward, there's always every part. And I think when Man United do eventually become successful, and it is when, it's not if, I think we're going to be looking at the past and we're going, yeah, that played a good role, that played a good part in that, and that played a good part in that, of course, guys. But, I just feel like people are getting too defensive, too snowflakish, if you know what I mean. Nowadays they're too sensitive, in my opinion. I know it's because Arsenal lost. I know if Arsenal would do the same thing, they would be laughing from it. Absolutely. Mr. Reneso, Arsenal fans are like little brother of the family, always pushing buttons. Big up Reneso, by the way. Cali family, big up yourself. Want their participation trophy, want automatic praise, and want to cry. One thing I've learned, Reneso, you said a good point there. You know what I've learned being raised in London? I met a lot of Arsenal fans, a lot of them. And, the characteristic of Arsenal fans is very similar with each other. Like I said, when Arsenal fans are born, there is actually a diagnosis for Arsenal-citis because they're very similar. Now, Arsenal fans are born with delusions of grandeur, right? And I would say that they're duplicates of each other. Now, how to get on the side of an Arsenal fan? Feed their ego. Feed their ego. That's what Arsenal fans love. They love people to feed their ego, but they don't want to talk good about any other football team. They just want to talk good about their team. That's all. They just want you to talk about their team. and nothing else. You know what I mean? They want you to compliment them. They want you to feed their ego. They want all that. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Absolutely. But absolutely true, Renee. So big up yourself. Big up everyone in the stream, guys. Big up Black Sheep. Big up yourself. I just watched Keane versus Vieira, best of enemies. What both teams wouldn't do for those caliber of captains right now, Keane and Vieira, make you realize how soft footballers are. Yes, Black Sheep. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, mate. I can't say it anymore. Football has regressed immensely. Physically, competitively, technically, it's regressed significantly, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? I would say it's regressed a lot. And you're absolutely right. I miss those days. Of course I do. I don't like to be nostalgic, but I am. You have to be, because it was our most successful time in our history. I'm delighted that I saw that. I'm delighted that we saw that. Of course, it was a great time. Of course, guys. Sam, Baleba isn't worth 70 million. The guy is playing rubbish. He's a 45 million pound player based on recent form. Sam, you know what? I don't disagree with you, mate. I don't disagree with you. There's a lot of Baleba fanboys out there, but however, Brighton have their price, and Brighton are not going to stay away from that price. His price has been reduced. I mean, can you imagine we paid 100 million for him? Look, Baleba is a good player. Is he better than a good player at the moment? No, he's not. Can he become a better player? Yes, he can. Hopefully. But we have to only go by. Football's very, very certain, absolute, in the way you judge it. Because at the end of the day, you can only judge a footballer based on what he has done the last few games, or the last game even. You know, you can only base that on that. It may be fickle, it may be, bad, but Baleba's had a poor season. I think he had a good AFCON, by the way. I was watching Cameroon very closely, and I think he had a good AFCON. Got a couple of man of the match displays. That filled me with confidence. However, it's not enough to say that he's a 70... Look, guys, it's a 75 million pounds, English sterling. Not even euros. It's 75 million pounds. That is how much Baleba is cost. So Sam is absolutely right. We have to look at, if it's 45 million pounds, you say, yeah, that's about 60 million euros, if I'm not wrong. And I'm not a bloody currency exchange bureau, sadly. I wish I was. You know what I mean? But I think it's about 60 million euros, something like that, which I think, like Sam says, if it's 45 million pounds, 60 million euros, I think that will be suffice. I think that will be suffice, because that is what I would say his valuation is at the moment. But why are Brighton so eager to sell Carlos Baleba? Why are they so eager to sell him? Because they know he's had one good season. And they know he's had one good season. He had a good seasons at, where was he? At Lille. But now, you know what? You can't judge him from the French league. And people are going to be looking at him and thinking, well, you know what? It's a bit, people complain like, oh, you know what? Man United came, he wanted his move. But it doesn't matter. Anderson knows he's got big clubs after him. Wharton knows he's got big clubs after him as well. They still play their game. So does Onana. They still play their game. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up San Antonio, New Braunfels, Texas. Big up Texas. Love Texas, by the way. Big up Texas, one of the most hospitable places on the planet. I've been to Houston, Texas. Shot a music video there. Hot Sauce. Go and check it out, guys. Reds, REDZZ, Hot Sauce. Basically playing on the word sauce, basically. That's my brother in that video. And you'll see me in the video in Houston, Texas, doing my thing. Big up B Turner 6975. I hope you're well, and big up Texas family. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. Absolutely. Good to see you. Big up United Blanco. What's going on, my bro? Hope you're doing well. I still want an experienced striker. Why the hell we are not going for Mateta? It's the most obvious signing for us, in my opinion. You know what I said, United Blanco? You weren't here at the beginning of the season. Mateta was my favorite player. You know what I mean? In regards to the striker situation, I said, just get Mateta. Why are we getting Mateta? Just get Mateta. Just get him. And I was saying it back then, and I was saying, and people are like, nah, Mateta, nah. And I said, look, this guy is experienced. He's not had a good season again this season. So obviously price is going to matter, and Man United right now, the priority is not buying another striker. I believe in Sesko. I think Sesko will be a very good striker for Manchester United, right? I think Man United, the biggest priority for Manchester United, as we sit here right now, on the 27th of January, 2026, is that midfield. Like, we've been banging on about it. I've been banging on about the midfield for years and years and years. The midfield needs to be fixed before anything else is fixed. That midfield needs to be fixed, guys, in my humblest of humbles. That's what I would say. In my humblest of opinion, that midfield, before anything else, should be fixed. Big up, 50 likes. Guys, can we get more? Let's keep it going. Let's keep the likes up. Absolutely, let's keep the likes up. Big up, Tyborg, my legend. Hope you're doing well. Exactly my fault. It doesn't matter how good or bad the manager Amrin was. He called them out, and I respect that. He is the past. Let's focus on what matters the most, Manchester United. Exactly that. And people who are hating on Amrin, you are a bootlicker to Ineos and the Glazers, and I don't want to hear anything about Glazers at Ineos out from you, because he called them out. Look, let's forget. Look, guys, 2 defeats in 11 games this season he had. 3rd highest XG, 3rd goals, assists, right? Big chances created. 3 points on 4th. Let's not go there. Let's not do that, because at the end of the day, you can throw your 30% win record out, in the bin. Because what is most important? Because you're judging it from last season. Now, that is over. And what people don't understand is that this is a bounce, what we're having right now. A bounce. Right? I hope it's not, and I hope that we go and beat Fulham, West Ham, Tottenham, Bournemouth, all these teams leading up to that Newcastle game at St. James's Park, which is the most difficult game coming up. And then obviously we got Chelsea coming up. We got some tough games coming up. So what we have to do right now, right this very moment, as I said, on the 27th of January, 2026, is support Michael Carrick, and let's hope that Michael Carrick becomes a success at Manchester United. But we don't get carried away. But at the same time, we don't start knocking managers who called out the biggest problem in his football club. The reason that we are protesting on the 1st of February is because of them. Because of them, and he called them out. He should be applauded. I know there's some content creators out there who love their VIP passes, who want those little tickets here and there. Do you know what I mean? I know who you are. I know what it is. You know what I mean? Sitting on Sky Sports. I remember when you used to have a talent to go on Sky Sports. I went on Sky Sports with my music. I remember you had to have a talent, not talk rubbish. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. They are desperate. Tybo, Arsenal fans are the most deluded ones. No question about it. They are unrealistic and completely lack modesty. They are their own worst enemy. Arsenal are top of the league. Arsenal are top of the Champions League. Arsenal are in the League Cup semi-final, going to go to the final. Arsenal are in the FA Cup, and they're calling for Amrin to be for Arteta to be sacked. It's disgraceful, guys. You know what they say? Be careful what you wish for in life. You may just get it, Always be careful what you wish for in life, because you may just get it. And that's what I always believe that. Arteta has done wonders for them, and they should be thankful for that, because before Arteta walked into that football club, Arsenal were a banter club. They were a banter club, guys. No doubt about that. Tybo, the same fans that are still talking about Amrin will jump on Carrick's back after the first bad result. Some people function like this, like parasites, picking up energy from drama. Exactly that. I can't say it any better than that, Tybo. You're spot on. Wait, watch, guys. Watch. Things don't go always according to plan, And, I hope that Michael Carrick goes and wins every single game from now till the end of the season. I hope he wins every single game. I really do hope so. But watch what's going to happen. And Tyberg mentioned it here very closely. If Michael Carrick loses 1 or 2 games, you're going to see some people, it's going to be like a few of them, right? Like a bacterial infection. It'll be a few of them saying, you know what? I don't think he's good, I don't think he got that wrong, You know what? It's mainly really that guy. Ahmad's not been... we're going to start going on that little fidgety sort of thing, and then obviously it's going to start expanding the more bad results we get. And, the test of a character. The test of a character, not only with the managers, but also with the fans, right? It's the fans that don't get swayed by every bad result. Don't get influenced by every bad result, and that's the test of a true fan, You know what I mean? And fans that have a high IQ as well. Under Amram, we made it worse for Amram. The fans put a lot of pressure on him. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And, you know, we're going to do the same to Carrick. I'm sitting back. You know, I know we're going to do exactly the same thing to Carrick. When the time comes, we're going to start throwing Carrick under the bus. Don't worry about that. Some of Man United fans are entitled. They are entitled. The reason they're entitled is because some of those Man United fans are glory hunters. They started supporting Man United 2003, 2008, 2007, 2006, when we were already successful, 1999, when we were already successful. So a lot of them are entitled. And that's what it is, you know, and they think they know about Man United standards, but they have no clue of what Man United standards represents. Man United standards also represents loyalty. None of these guys have got any loyalty about them, you know. Kevin, big up yourself. Great win against Arsenal. You have to beat Fulham, bro. Absolutely, Kevin. Donovan. Are you a Man United fan? Good morning, sir. Good morning, Xavier. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Amadou Anana, how much would it cost? About 60 million. He's got a 51.5 million release at the moment. I think his valuation is at the moment, but he's valued at 60 million, if I'm not wrong. Absolutely. I read somewhere that there is an outrage because Cunha used the F word while celebrating his goal versus Arsenal. Can we go more soft? Snowflake shit. I mean, stupid. Honestly, Tyberg. You know, what are we doing here? I mean, come on, man. We're adults here, man. This is a competitive game. You know what, guys? I don't know whether they're trying to censor football. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether they're trying to take the aggression out of it. I don't know whether they're trying to make it a soft sport or something like that. I don't know if they're trying to take the masculinity out of football. I don't know what it is, but some of these things are just really, they're taking the fun of it. But you know what? They're trying to stop they tried to stop players from celebrating with fans as well, didn't they? It's ridiculous, you know. LT, big up Sal, big up yourself, brother. We need signings now in January, and all this summer window targets is not fooling me because these prats think we are forgetting the incompetence because we won 2 games against the top sides. I agree with LT here, absolutely. We got one thing I would say, guys. We got to stay awake to the problems. We've got to stay awake to the problems at Man United because a lot of people forget that one good result, guys. One good result, and all of a sudden, all the problems are forgotten about, you know? Tybo, I read that one. Sorry. Sam, Anderson is what we need. United board should try to do everything possible to sign him. The guy is fucking good. I know, mate. I know. He would end up at a massive club. You know, he'll end up at a massive club. Absolutely. Big up everyone, guys. Good morning, Bobby. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is blessed with you. Absolutely good to see you. Good morning, Donovan. How you doing? Good to see you, mate. Morning, everyone. Sal, right, we really need the midfield sorted. We need at least 3 minimum to replace Casemiro, Ugarte. I think we're going to lose Collier as well. We do need another midfielder, absolutely. 2 or 3, absolutely. 2 is the absolute minimum. 3 would be ideal. 3 would be ideal. 2 would be the absolute minimum. What's happening? Big up United. What is happening with Sekou Kone? Is there any progress? A little bit lightweight at the moment. Good player, but not quite at the physicality of the Premier League at the moment. Not to say he wouldn't be there next year. I'm hearing he may go on loan. Chida Obi Martin might go on loan as well next season. So we'll have to play that one by ear, of course. Absolutely. Benny, big up Benny. What's going on? Too many fans as United fed into the media narrative. As you say, they didn't have the IQ to make their own mind up. And the same thing will happen with Carrick. Loses a game or makes a bad substitution. Exactly that. Soon as he starts losing games, guys, I'm going to sit back with my popcorn and I'm going to see the same old suspects calling for Carrick to be sacked. They expect perfection. Guys. That's what they expect. They expect perfection from a board that are so far away from perfection. It's actually incompetence that they offer us. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And don't worry about it. They will be back with their old nonsense. They will be back. Don't worry about that. Good morning, sir. Big up, my friend. Big up, guys. Guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. Don't forget to put your notifications on, all that jazz, guys. Thank you, everyone who continues to support the channel. I really appreciate that, guys. We are leading up to that big game against Fulham on Sunday, guys. Massive game. In fact, it's the biggest game so far, as the next game is always the biggest game. The next game is always the biggest game. And I'm more interested about this Fulham game, I'll be honest, guys, than I am with the Man City and Arsenal game. I'm being honest, guys, because that Fulham game represents something. Fulham's not the hardest one, though. I say West Ham away. For me, I'm looking at that West Ham away game at the London Stadium, because when was the last time we won at the London Stadium? I'm looking at that game, right? Because those games, Fulham and West Ham and Bournemouth and Newcastle, these are the games here. That bracket right there are the games that we lose and we drop points in, right? So I'm really looking forward to the next few games. That is going to be an education. That is definitely going to be an education, 100%. Big up, David, my guy. Absolutely. I'm like a stick of rock. Break me in half. I have Man United through my body. Me too, mate. Made up a lot of my life, Manchester United. I mean, I was a child when I started supporting Man United. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm talking about, you know? Brilliant times. Betty, us qualifying for the Champions League would be huge in our pursuit of Anderson, Wharton, and those kind of players, absolutely, of quality. And if we do make it to the Champions League, it would be hard not to give Carrick the job. It would be. Look, whether we think it would be right or wrong, we would know and we analyse it, because obviously there's lots of angles you can look at it. If Carrick qualifies for the Champions League, we're going to know a lot by then. We're going to know what kind of play Carrick plays, how many goals we scored, how lucky we were, how many, you know, we're going to know a lot about that at the end of the season, you know, what's going on, what's Wagwan, of course. I say if Michael Carrick gets Champions League football, I thought Ruben Amorim would get it anyway, by the way. Just to let you know. I thought Ruben Amorim would get Champions League football. I think you have to give him the job, Benny. And the reason they have to give him the job, it's not because, oh my goodness me, we're so gassed, we're singing songs about Michael Carrick's at the wheel. It's simply because if they don't give Carrick the job and they bring in another manager and he flops, they're gonna get heat. They're gonna get heat. Oh, you should have just kept Michael Carrick. On the flip side, if they keep Carrick and Luis Enrique goes to Manchester City, and Luis Enrique ends up dominating English football just like Pep Guardiola did, we're going to say we should have got Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique's won the Champions League. Luis Enrique did not build a Galacticos team. He built a team for the youngsters and won the Champions League. The biggest thing is that, is Luis Enrique better than Carrick as a manager? Yeah. You know, we have to look at things objectively and smartly. If Carrick doesn't get into the Champions League this season, and I mean the Champions League, he shouldn't get the job, no. That is it. If he gets to the Champions League, there's a debate to be had, and we should interview candidates, including Carrick. We shouldn't just jump. We shouldn't just jump, because that will be immature. You know, we have to look at things from all different angles. You know what I mean? What happened to Diego Leon? I love my team at Manchester United. Big up Kevin Donovan. Not ready, apparently. Not ready for first team football yet. But I'm sure we're going to see them very soon. Especially in the left-back position, for him not to even be on the bench. It does give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on. Obviously, the manager gets feedback from the youth team and stuff like that, what's going on, of course. Spot on, Sal. They're making like Amorim did terrorism at the club, flip-flop fans. A lot of people just jealous of Amorim. That is all it was. You know what I mean? That's it. Going to college to spank Arsenal fans. Big up United Blanco. Good to see you, mate. And do one for me as well. Absolutely. Big up, my friend. If we approach the Fulham game with same attitude as last two games, we'll win. But I'm still apprehensive about some of these players. I'm too, mate. I don't understand this, guys. Dalot, Maguire, Shaw, they've been here for a very long time, guys. Bruno, They've been here for a very long time. They sacked a lot of managers, you know. So I'm not here going to be saying that. This is why I'm very, very cautious in my support and stuff. I'm going to support Michael Carrick. But in the back of my mind, I'm going, they're gonna drop soon. They're going to drop soon. Someone was saying, like, you know, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer walked in, he was smashing it. We were singing Ole's at the wheel. He was doing so well. As soon as he signed that contract, guys, we lost 5-0 at home to Liverpool under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Guys, and let me just tell you something, right? And I said this yesterday, and I'm going to bring this into the show now. Right, let me just write this. Okay, so Roberto Di Matteo, right, was a Chelsea player. He came into Chelsea, right, as interim, right? He broke records at Chelsea. He won Chelsea their first Champions League title. Roberto Di Matteo. He won 24 games out of 42. Drawing 9. Right? And a lot of those defeats came the next season. Now, Roberto Di Matteo also won the FA Cup against Liverpool. You know? This guy got given the job after doing all that, and he's the greatest ever interim in the Premier League history, in my opinion. The greatest ever interim in Premier League history is Roberto Di Matteo, and he got sacked the next season. So we got to be very, very objective, and we got to be very careful. No doubt we support Carrick, wishing the best. But let's not be delusional here. That was a better team than this team here. That Chelsea team with Didier Drogba was a better team than we have right now. You know, like, guys, listen. They beat Bayern Munich in the Alliance. You know, in their home ground. It's what we're talking about. And he got the job and he didn't last a few months the next season. You know? And this is what I'm talking about. And this is one of the greatest ever interims. So we got to look at things like that, of course. And but again, I reiterate, I'm Carrick all the way, and we hope we're successful. Starting with Fulham on Sunday, I want to see a performance against Fulham that matches our performance against Man City and Arsenal. I want to see a dynamic, creative performance, full of goals and chances. Now, I'm not saying we have to win the game 5-0. Fulham are a good team, right? I want to see Manchester United winning that game. And looking back on that game and thinking, even if we won 1-0, guys, or 2-1 or 3-2, thinking, well, that was a good performance. That was good. I want to see that. You know, we're starting to change with the low block and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? There you go. Black Sheep, read that Real Madrid are interested in Dalot. Please be true. Nah, it's PR, Black Sheep. It was this rumor came out last year. There was rumors that Real Madrid are interested in Diego Dalot. I would take that with the biggest pinch of salt possible. Salt by couldn't give you a much more potent pinch of salt than that. Because why would Real Madrid sign Dalot? You know, why? I mean, that is the biggest bunch of PR madness I've ever seen. Now, look, in regards to Dalot as a person, I think Dalot is a good person. I think he's a good character. You know, I think he's a good character. I think he's a good, he even would probably make a good captain. But as a talent, he makes too many mistakes. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't think that he'd be going to Real Madrid anytime soon. And that's all I would say. And that's nothing against Dalot. He's just not good enough to go to Real Madrid. Now, if that happens, I'll be absolutely flabbergasted. You know what I mean? But I ain't hearing nothing he's going to Real Madrid. It could be fishing for a new contract. You know, that's what happens. You know what these players do? They fish for new contracts, don't they? They fish for new contracts. That's what these players do, you know? at the end of the day. There's lots of players that Man United are going to be linked to. Man United will make moves in the summer. They will, guys. We will, right? I'm just hoping the quantity of how many players that we sign will be enough and will be sufficient. That what we need, as we said, we need 2 or 3 midfielders. You know, I'm hoping that we get 2 or 3 midfielders. That's what I'm hoping. You know, absolutely. The great thing about Man United right now is that we got nothing to lose now. We're in a good position and we have to keep going and keep trying to win football matches. And that's the most important thing. Team news, I'll be giving team news on probably Thursday. I'll be doing my match preview, guys. In regards to that, I'll be doing my team news then. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, the injury to Dorgu, haven't heard much about it at the moment. It was just cramp. By the way, it wasn't hamstring, but that's what I'm hearing. Just cramp, so don't worry about that. The only change I could foresee is Dalot for Mazraoui for Dalot, maybe. But we have to wait and see what happens. Do you know what I mean? I think Mazraoui would be better than Dalot, in my opinion. I think he will be a better player to play against Fulham. I think so. I think he's better. The great thing, I was watching the AFCON, of course, doing the watch-alongs to the AFCON, and Mazraoui was playing left-back. Mazraoui was playing left-back, and he did very well at left-back. So that's something we have to keep in mind as well. You know? That's something we have to keep in mind. He played in left-back. You know? And I thought he done very, very well. And that is something that we maybe could play Mazraoui as a left-back sometimes. You know? We ain't got many. Yeah, but the great thing is now we purchased Dorgu as a fullback. Now Dorgu is becoming an attacking player, you know, and fantastic, you know. But what I would say is we do need a couple of fullbacks in there as well. So if I was Man United, right back needs to be covered, sorted. We haven't got right back other than Dalot, right? Mazraoui could play left back, right back. So Mazraoui is good enough, but I would bring in a young left back in there. I think Amas could come back. I think Amas has been absolutely phenomenal at Sheffield Wednesday. The 2 midfielders, like defensively, I don't think Man United have a problem. Licha, De Ligt, Heaven, Yoro, Fredrickson, Kalungi, those players are already, you know, up and coming as well. So I don't think Man United have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Guys. Fingers crossed. Dorgu is fine. He's fine, man. He's fine. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Absolutely. Great points. Carrick, Enrique, conundrum. I'd hire Enrique based on possibility that City might get him. They will, mate. Trust me. I'd rather lose Carrick than Enrique. Rather than keep Carrick and lose makes sense. It all depends, doesn't it, Marcus? If Michael Carrick qualifies for the Champions League, for example, right? If Michael Carrick qualifies for the Champions League, I know that this board are weak and they will give it to him. Would I blame them? No, I wouldn't blame them because obviously he got Champions League football. If he doesn't get Champions League football, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And we should know this, by the way. We should know this from where we are in April. You know? So if we are nowhere near the Champions League spots by April, we should start moving in for Luis Enrique. That's what we should start trying to do. You know what I mean? Jaffa, good morning. How you doing? One thing is certain, Carrick had huge luck on his side up until now. Yes. But football is about that as well. We won a treble based around luck as well. Obviously, talent makes luck, you know? But I'm not going to sit on there in my high horse thinking that we absolutely dominated the game against Arsenal because we didn't. In the opening 20 minutes, we were outplayed. We got a lucky break when Zubimendi gave away the ball and we equalized and we went from strength to strength and that showed good character. The 2 things I take away from that game is the character to come back to 1-1. I know it was a mistake, but we were making chances. And the character to come back from when they made it 2-2, to shoot that. Now, on another day, as football is, those long range shots don't go anywhere. They go into the rose head. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, they're going to rose head. But let's wait and see, guys. Guys, I really appreciate all of you. You guys are absolutely the life and soul of Stretford Post, and I appreciate every one of you. Thank you. I will be back later on today. Keep your notifications on. I might be on a little bit earlier, and I'm going to have to wait and see what time and stuff like that. So, guys, please don't forget to put your notifications on. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. You're absolute diamonds. Please, please, please don't forget to subscribe if you're new as well, guys. This is the channel to be, growing every single day. Let's do this, guys. Let's move up, moving all up, as them people once said. I'll see you later on for Chatterbox. Fingers crossed, guys, and keep your notifications on so when I do go live. So I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. I'll see you later, guys. Take it easy. Peace.